So, just to start off, anabolic steroids. These days, it's becoming a bigger topic of conversation, and they actually are, people are accepting it more. They call it TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Essentially, it's anabolic steroid. So, steroids is anything that affects your hormones. So, birth control is a steroid. An anabolic steroid is something, just to define that, is something that affects your testosterone levels, your hormones. That's it, builds muscle, something that helps build muscle, essentially, is an anabolic steroid. So they are rampant in the fitness industry. They've been rampant in the Olympics, in every sport, in baseball, football, and just everything out there. They're so common, but it's not common knowledge that they're so widely used. They're so readily used. People are very good at hiding it. I don't really have a problem with anabolic steroids. Full disclosure, when I was about 20 years old, I tried some over the counter stuff from a shop called Nutrisport. This guy Lowell, I asked him about it, and he was like, man, you don't need any of that stuff. Yeah, and I was 17. I used to go there to get protein bars, protein shakes. And I was like, what about that stuff? The stuff behind the counter. And he says, you don't need that. But eventually he gave me some stuff that when I turned 18, I tried some stuff. It gives you a boost. Some of it's okay. I tried a couple, eventually decided against it, never did anything really hardcore, but I totally understand the temptation. I totally understand the temptation. The problem with it is a lot of people get into it, just like that guy Lowell was trying to warn me about. People get into it a little too early. They work out. Maybe they haven't discovered the best workouts, the best way to work out. They're not counting their macros. They're not doing their diet right. Just their routine kind of sucks, could be better. And they're just too new to it. And then they look to steroids. And then all of a sudden they take those and they go, oh, wow, this is what everybody's doing, which is not necessarily the case. A lot of people do and don't admit it. But so it can steer you in the wrong direction. My best bench I ever got was way after I tried that stuff when I was younger, some over the counter stuff. You can, it can just be misleading. And also it makes things so easy for a lot of guys. I just see a lot of guys fall victim to this whole cycle of taking that stuff over and over again. And they just get what I would call maybe floppy, like the big arms, big chest, nothing else looks that great. And they eat a ton and they eat really poorly. So it's just not the best look, really, comes down to it. Um, the thing about anabolic steroids that drives me and a lot of other people nuts is, true story. I had a client say to me, hey, check this guy out. He's on YouTube. I'll look at his stuff. We were working out. He showed me one day when he came in, and some part in the workout, he showed me this guy. And he was like, he's pretty big, right? Maybe we should try one of his arm exercises that he does. He says these ones are really good. There's some particular lift. And I was like, oh yeah, common lift. I don't do it all the time, but yeah, sure, can throw that in there. That's fine. But just so you know, like that guy is for sure taking anabolic steroids. His response to me is, oh, he said that he's not. And I was like, yeah, of course he said he's not. But I promise you, that guy is taking anabolic steroids. And he was convinced. He was like, he said he's not. And the guy's not. He seems trustworthy, whatever you want to say. People don't know. They don't know how common it is. They don't know how many guys do it. They don't know how many guys. I had another friend who bought a program from somebody, a workout program. This dude was ripped. He was huge. He sold a workout program. It was essentially a HIIT routine, like jog, and then next week we're going to jog a little more. And then we're going to do HIIT style. We're going to work our way up to doing that over the course of a couple of weeks. And he had some recipes that were like chicken and rice, with some veggies and some kind of sauce. It was $70 for him to tell you to run more and eat chicken and rice, which is a go-to for a lot of bodybuilders pre-stage. And they started cutting back on the rice. But with this guy, what sold this girl was how jacked this guy was. Not like he was lying. It's not like he said, I don't take anabolic steroids, but I don't think he disclosed that. To me, it was incredibly obvious that the guy was juicing, is the slang term for that. The guy was juicing, for sure. It was obvious. Well, a lot of trainers out there, what they do is they just get super big, they juice, they take steroids, and they sell programs that way because you buy their program thinking I'm going to look like this guy if I do what he is recommending. That's the idea behind it. But it's not necessarily the case. It's definitely not the case if the guy is taking something that he wouldn't tell you about. In this case, anabolic steroids, of course. So It can be confusing for people. A lot of guys use it to mislead people. They use it to make sales. They use it to, even in the fitness industry, just altogether as a whole klepto. What people do is they will tell some guy that's big and super ripped, very lean, huge muscles. They'll make him the poster child for their protein powder or some other supplement that does essentially nothing. They make this guy, they put you on the cover of all that. You look at these supplements and you see these really big guys on them, and a lot of people don't know that's not how that guy got big. It wasn't the creatine. It wasn't the protein powder. It wasn't whatever else they're selling you. It was the anabolic steroids that he would never tell you about. That's why he's big. But again, like I said in the beginning, people are becoming more honest with it. People are admitting it. I have zero problem with people taking testosterone replacement therapy if they're open about it. The only problem I have is when they say, oh no, I got this way all natural, and they're gigantic, and then people believe them. They're lying to people essentially. It's not a very honest thing to do that to people because they believe you. So it's just shitty for people to do that to other people. But so that's why I have a problem with it. But these days, a lot of people take that stuff. They admit it, no problem. So that's fair. That's definitely fair. There's no foul play there. Nothing wrong with that. I will experiment on myself with, I don't want anything synthetic these days. I don't want anything that's fake, except for some vitamins. I'll take vitamin D. And I saw a video that showed that the more vitamin D you're taking, the higher your levels in your blood, the higher your testosterone. There's a correlation there. So I experimented with that. I definitely saw the more vitamin D I took, I was checking my blood every month, my testosterone and vitamin D levels. So when I took 10,000 units of vitamin D, my testosterone went from about 427 to maybe 500-ish. I took more and more vitamin D, and every time there's a correlated up in my testosterone levels. So I love stuff like that. A little more natural. You could just go outside to get some sun, but I live in Wyoming. The sun's not always around. So take a pill. There's also 2 other supplements that I take. They're just plant-based. And so stuff like that, I have no problem with either. Something natural, I don't have a problem with. Obviously, unless it has some kind of weird side effects or something. That's the biggest thing is I'm trying to go for health, overall health and longevity. That's what I'm shooting for. That's my goal, to feel every day, wake up feeling great, being completely functional. I want all my joints working well. I know a lot of guys, I'm not trying to throw shade. Some bodybuilders, they'll get really big for a while and then they are destroyed after that. Their body is completely wrecked. They have back pain, they have joint problems to be on stage for a while. And that's cool if that's your thing. Hey, that if I wanted to do that, compete against those guys, especially at this point, I couldn't. So they have me there. I want to be up, walking, going to my favorite restaurants, not experiencing a bunch of pain in my joints and my back until as far an age as I can get to, and live a healthy life throughout that whole time is my goal. It's just longevity and good function. So the other problem with anabolic steroids as well, if any young guys out there decide they want to try some of this stuff, go for the more natural stuff, something plant-based, go over some vitamin D, get a little sun, get a good workout regimen. But really put a couple of years in before you decide to take testosterone replacement therapy. Guys get their testosterone stupid high. But the side effects of it, essentially what's happening is your body wants to be at a certain level of testosterone. It also has a certain correlated level of estrogen. Every male is a certain height of your testosterone and then a correlated lower estrogen. Females are opposite. They have both. We all have both. But females have higher estrogen than testosterone. So what happens is you take an outside source, your testosterone goes through the roof, your estrogen correlatedly goes up as well. And then when you stop taking testosterone, it drops down. That's where you get these side effects of breast tissue. You can just have a lot of, your voice can change. So people take estrogen blockers during this time. That's one problem. There's a whole bunch of side effects in the bedroom. It can cause problems later in your life. So it's not the best idea for that reason as well. On top of it causes muscle tissue growth. Your heart to muscle. You have heart chambers that fill with blood and then pump blood to the rest of the body. Those chambers, when they grow and swell, can grow inward. It makes your heart chambers smaller. So there's less room for blood to get in there to be pumped out. and then your heart has to work a little bit harder. This causes hypertension, so high blood pressure. So it causes that sort of as a permanent side effect too, especially if you do it wrong. If you do it right, you do just a certain amount, either under the watch of a doctor, or if you just know your stuff and read up on it and take the right amounts wherever you get it from. I'm sure you could avoid some of these things, but they can cause some pretty serious problems later in life. I don't see temporary big muscles, especially when I'm a teenager or in my 20s, a good trade for heart problems for the rest of my life. I don't see that to be a good trade at all. Not even close. I would much rather be doing great, traveling while I'm 70, 80 years old, going to different countries, trying wine and trying the foods there and whatnot. That sounds like a much better time than laid up, not too mobile because you have some serious heart problems and you're on all kinds of meds from it. So not a good trade.